If your homemade burgers always turn out a little boring, this Jalapeño Barbecue Burger is about to fix that. Let's get into the recipe. I like to prep all my veggies first. It just makes it easier for me during cooking. So starting off, we're going to dice the jalapeno. Make sure you remove all the seeds. You can use a spoon for this part or a knife. You want to make sure the peppers are finely diced, so I'm using my chopping gadget, of course, and I used 1 jalapeno and about 4 to 5 green onions and 1 green pepper. This vegetable combo pairs well with the barbecue sauce I'm using today. If you're not a fan of spicy, you can definitely leave these out, but I personally love that sweet and spicy combo. Once you're done chopping that up, just place it in a bowl and set it aside. For the green onions, you want to use the white bottom part for cooking. It has a stronger, more onion-like flavor, and it's a little firmer, so it holds up really well when it's cooked. You can cook that part, but just add them at the very end so they don't turn dull or mushy. Go ahead and add that to the bowl with the jalapenos. For the green pepper, you want to remove all the seeds and then finely dice it. This is going to be a part of the base for the sauce. It adds that extra crunch without the spice. Once that's all chopped up, just place it in the bowl with the jalapenos and green onions and set it aside. Now for the toppings. I'm slicing 1 to 2 tomatoes per burger. I like to keep them a little thick so they don't fall apart and you still get that fresh, juicy bite in every bite. And then I'm slicing half of a purple onion. I like mine thinly sliced, so that's why I'm using my slicing tool, but you can cut it as thin or thick as you prefer. I'm one of those people that love fresh onions on my burgers. They add a little crunch and a sharp flavor that just makes everything taste better. Once you're done with that, go ahead and set it aside with the tomatoes. For the seasonings today, I'm using some smoked paprika, dried oregano, garlic powder, salt, minced onion, black pepper, and this Montreal steak seasoning. Measure with your heart. I use about 1/2 to 1 tablespoon per pound of meat, and I'm using about 2 pounds of meat. I'm using this organic 90% lean ground beef. And today I'm using gloves because I just did my nails, but this step is optional. I like to add all the meat to a bowl, then add all the seasonings to the bowl and give it a mix. I like to mix it just enough to combine everything. You don't want to overwork the meat because that can make the burgers a little tough instead of nice and juicy. Using my large ice cream scoop, I'm scooping them into portions and then rolling them into balls. I started using an ice cream scoop for burgers because it just makes portioning so much easier and less messy, and it keeps everything nice and consistent. Let me know in the comments down below, do you like thick burgers or thinner smash style burgers? Once that's done, using a clean hand, lay a piece of parchment paper down on the counter and then place a burger ball on top. Then take another piece of parchment paper, place it on top of the ball and give it a nice little smash. The burgers will shrink during cooking, so I like to smash mine to about this size. Then just place it on top of a plate and finish smashing the rest of the burgers. I like to keep one hand gloved to handle the raw meat and one hand clean to handle everything else. It just makes it easier. And as some of you may or may not know, my husband has a popular Christian reaction channel, and the other day he cooked dinner for us. It was so much fun to watch him in the kitchen, and the meal turned out pretty amazing. We both love creating content just in different ways, and it's always fun to share those moments together. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that video. I promise it's worth checking out. We had so much fun creating that video. And back to the burgers. Smashing them evenly like this not only helps them cook faster, but it gives them that crispy, flavorful edge that makes every bite irresistible. Once that step is done, to a pan, heat up a little oil on medium-high heat and then place about 2 to 3 burgers on it and cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes per side depending on how you like them. I like mine well done, so I'm cooking them until the internal temperature reaches about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Add the cheese right before removing the burgers from the pan so it can melt. I use Colby Jack cheese on this burger because it complements the flavors of the sauce we're using later on instead of competing with it. I'm trying to lay this cheese down, but it's doing a little slide dance, like we need you to stay put. Now that that's all taken care of, we're going to remove this from the heat. Now we're just going to repeat these steps until all of the burgers are cooked. While these burgers are cooking, I'm thinking about how I actually got into cooking. After my son Isaiah passed away, I fell into a deep depression. It was so hard for me to find joy in the things I used to love. My memory became faint the years following. It's like my brain hyper-focused on the traumatic events of my life. And that's when I started experimenting in the kitchen. And what started as just a way to pass time turned into a new hobby I really enjoy. I wouldn't call myself a professional chef, but over time I've learned so many tricks and ways to make meals that just feel special. Even something as simple as these burgers reminds me that with a little creativity and patience, cooking can turn ordinary ingredients into something amazing, and that's why I love it so much. Next, we're going to add the chopped peppers and green onions to the same pan, and we're going to saute that for about 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm using about half a bottle of this Jack Daniel's honey barbecue sauce. The sweetness helps balance the heat from the jalapeños. When you mix spicy and sweet together, it tones down the burn a little, and it gives the burger a really nice flavor contrast. Now it's time to plate. To a toasted bun, just add a scoop of the sauce we made, and then we're going to add a burger, some onions, another burger, more onions, a tomato, and then we're going to top it with more sauce and fresh spinach. I paired this with my Parmesan sweet potato fries. I'll link the recipe video down below. If you try this recipe, let me know in the comments how it turned out for you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed this recipe, and share it with someone who loves a good burger. Thank you for cooking with me today. I'll see you in the next video.